them trying to actually outlaw organic farming in the United States. I mean, we are so far beyond where a free people exercising free will by a God that allows people to choose to be atheists, to choose to be in denial, to choose to be fodder, basically, for the denial spirits, or the class of spirit that basically feeds off of you, because there's only God's truth and God's denial. But, man, you start mentioning God, you start mentioning accountability, you start mentioning responsibility, man, it's like you're speaking in tongues. And most people don't know how to deal with this. They hit the legal system, and the legal system cuts them to shreds. They put them in the mental institution. They drug them. They put them in jail. Why do you think our jails are so full of people seeking spiritual growth through drugs? That's their choice. We have a system that is cutting off the life blood of the spirit. It is destroying the essential sovereignty of an individual. This is why sovereignty is so important. Sovereignty is about a regional set of beliefs with a contract attached to these regional sets of beliefs. You better ask what contract is attached. This goes everything from a home to a block to a city to a state. What the fuck does the UN know about my home? You better start asking some damn serious questions, because the next Inquisition's coming, and the first Inquisition basically killed all the pagans.
For example, the information that I just requested about who has those contracts. Now, I would like to have the answer in writing as well, as I thought my office was promised.
Okay, I don't know about the promise, Congresswoman, but could you repeat the question to make sure I'm answering the right question? This is 9/11 question.
The question...
Now let's be clear here. Let's be really clear. And this is very, very important. The McKinney and this particular situation, I'm not saying that the military is the problem. I'm not saying that the CIA is the problem, the FBI is the problem, the Jews are the problem, the Christians are the problem, the ACLU is the problem. I'm saying everyone's the problem. Because the devil, if you want to use the Christian terminology, I don't like it, but let's just say you do, or the traditional Christian terminology, the devil works through man. It doesn't matter what they're doing. There's a scene in The Matrix where you see the mindless people walking along, and then they get possessed by the Agent Smiths. This is what's happening. This is exactly what's happening in the world today. The Matrix is the truth. It is the red pill of truth. But this is exactly what's happening. When you build a system of control, it can be used for good or it can be used for evil, to use the Christian terminology. I would rather say it can be used for love and it can be used for fear. Because fear is about feeding that alternate reality that has grown very, very powerful as a result of our denial, and all of our denial. So Jesus Christ said something very interesting. He said, "You will know people by the fruits of their labor, by their fruits. What are they producing in their lives? What are they connected to? Are they healthy? Are they connected to their family? Are they connected to their community? Are they politically active? Do they care about their fellow man?" You tell me.
was we had 4 war games going on September 11th, and the question that I tried to pose before the secretary had to go to lunch was whether or not the activities of the 4 war games going on September 11th actually impaired our ability to respond to the attacks.
The answer to the question is no, it did not impair our response. In fact, General Eberhard, who was then the commander of North American Aerospace Defense Command, as he testified in front of the 9/11 Commission, I believe he told them that it enhanced our ability to respond, given that NORAD didn't have the overall responsibility for responding to the attacks today. That was an FAA responsibility. But they were 2 CPXs. There was 1 Department of Justice exercise that didn't have anything to do with the other 3, and there was an actual operation ongoing because there was some Russian bomber activity up near Alaska. So
let me ask you this then: who was in charge of managing those war games?
And General, why don't you give the best answer you can here in a short period of time, and we'll. The gentlelady wants to get a written answer anyway, and then we can move on
the important thing is to realize that in North American Aerospace...
Oh, he wasn't very happy, by the way, about that question. He turned and looked, oh, man. See, these guys tell on themselves.
Defense Command was responsible. These are command post exercises. What that means is all the battle positions...
And just to be clear, this Richard Myers looks like he's got a hell of a lot of integrity. And he's in a bad system that's keeping him away from the truth, which is what command and control systems do.
Are normally not filled, are indeed filled. So it was an easy transition from an exercise into a real-world situation. It actually enhanced the response. Otherwise, it would take somewhere between 30 minutes and a couple of hours to fill those positions, those battle spaces, with the right staff officers.
Mr. Chairman, begging your indulgence, was September 11th declared a National Security Special Event Day?
I have to look back. I do not know. You mean after the fact or before the...
No, because of the activities going on that had been scheduled at the United Nations that day.
I'd have to go back and check.
Thank you.
Minutes after the hour, continuing our breaking news coverage of the crisis in the Middle East. And earlier this morning, we told you about a 66-foot pleasure boat, the Dignity, which had been trying to deliver medical supplies, urgently needed medical supplies, to Gaza City. That boat, while according to our CNN reporter Carl Penhall, who was on it at the time, was in international waters, was rammed by an Israeli patrol boat. And there you see the boat itself head to...
Now again, this has nothing to do with the Israelis and the Zionists and all that bullshit, because that's just another smokescreen. Bottom line is, someone in the spiritual world got really, really pissed off. Probably possessed a number of people, rammed the boat. You know, you have no idea. No friggin' idea. Stay tuned.